Hello, my name is Rubén Molina, and in this video I'm going to answer question 1 to 3 from task 2.1, reading comprehension and oral expression, the education system in US and UK. So questions 1 to 3 ask about what are the main differences in terms of curriculum, education, and legislation between US, UK, and Spain. The main difference I can see in terms of curriculum is that in the case of the US, they don't have an official national curriculum, and what they have are some standards that have to be followed by all the educational community, and which are developed by accrediting agencies and academic associations. Those standards are quite similar to the ones we can see in the UK curriculum and in the Spanish curriculum as well. And these standards set the basis about which are the subjects to instruct in each stage of education, which are the goals to reach in each subject and in each stage, and which are the methodologies and the resources the teachers can use for educational purposes. Another important difference in terms of curriculum I can see is that the education is structured in different ways in its system. So they are having different stages with different age ranges. So in case of the US, for example, there are 5 stages, which are preschool, elementary school, middle school, high school, and post-secondary education. In the case of the UK system, we can see there are 5 stages as well, and those are the early education and 4 key stages. And in the case of the Spanish, we only have 4 stages, and those stages are the child education, primary education, secondary education, and the higher education. Now moving on to the differences in terms of education. The main difference I can see is that is the way of evaluating. Because in the case of the Spanish system, we only have one national external test, which has to be done by all the students that want to go from high school to university, and they have to pass this test. And all the other assessments are done by teachers in school or high school. But in the case of the US and UK, they have national tests and at the end of each stage, or at the end of each educational stage. And I also see another difference, that is that in the case of the UK, there are it's included in the national curriculum the education of the sexual education and religious education, and in our case, in the Spanish, we only have the religious education included in our curriculum. Finally, in the main difference I can see in terms of legislation is that the UK system and the Spanish system are regulated by the government, and the case of the US system is regulated by accrediting agencies and academic associations, as I've told before. And I can see also a difference between the UK system and the Spanish system. That is that the government is the one who regulates the main aspects in Spain, but there are some other aspects that can be regulated by educational administrations or educational centers, like for example the methodologies to use or the adding of some contents to subjects, and maybe the design of the timetables. So that's my those are my answers for the questions, and I hope they are well answered. So bye.